Hello, Tar Heel Nation. Welcome. Thank you for coming back and joining me for another episode of UNC Hoops Talk. This is actually episode 35. Hard to believe I've done 35 of these video podcasts and putting them up on YouTube and up on the blog and sharing them. And just thankful that you're watching, whether it's live or later on YouTube or listening through SoundCloud or whatever it may be. I'm just happy that you're here. And I want to throw out, if you're here live, please ask questions, make comments, make it interactive and makes it more fun for all of us. And you can do this just about anywhere. You can make comments on YouTube, on Google Plus Q&A app, on the events page on Google Plus, on Twitter. Just use the hashtag UNCHoopsTalk, and I will bring them all in. I'll be able to catch those and answer them and then throw them up and all that good stuff. So interact with it here. Make it your show as much as my show. So that's kind of where we're shooting from. Trying something a little new here today. I'm trying the Showcase app on the Google Plus Hangouts on Air, where I always record these from. So again, give me feedback on what you're seeing, if it's working, if it's not working, what looks good, all that stuff. But pretty much the Showcase app puts, let's see, it will be on this side, I do believe, for you guys. I hope that's the right side. It'll be on the right side, and stuff I talk about, links, I'll put them up there, and you'll be able to click them. Right now, if you want to, open up a new window in your browser, or after the show, they will be available as well. You click on it, and it'll bring you right to the link that I talked about. So hopefully that works. Again, let me know, and we'll get going here. So first off, if you haven't connected with me, I would love for you to connect with me. On Twitter, it's @AllTarHeelDan. Pretty simple. Google Plus, it's just my name, Dan DeWitt, and you'll see that picture there. If there's something more private, whatever, you want to keep it between us, use the old-fashioned way. It's the email, unchoopstalk@gmail.com. If you have not already, I would love for you to subscribe. It helps so much at youtube.com/UNCHoopsTalk. I need to get those subscribers up. So tell your friends and family. Tell any Tar Heel that you know. So I do apologize for the background. We got we're moving stuff around, changing stuff up. So a little bit of a crazy background there, but you can still see those jerseys, that pennant up there, and hopefully know that I'm a Tar Heel. So to jump into this Showcase app, hopefully this will work here. Again, I showed you my Twitter and Google Plus and stuff, but again, if you haven't already and you'd like to connect with me, although if you found this, you probably are, but right up there, that should hopefully be the link to my Twitter. You can click on that, it'll bring you right to my profile, and you can follow from there and all that good stuff. And my Google Plus, hopefully it's coming up here soon if it's not already. If you're not following me, or if that's where you're active, you don't have to follow me everywhere. You see the same things if you follow people everywhere. Just make sure we're connected in one place, and don't be afraid at any point to hit me up, especially if it's about the Tar Heels. So jumping in, we got stuff kind of just ramping us up for the season as it comes closer. Of course, we'll talk about the Bahama game some, and then at the end of the show, I have a few announcements, and I hope you'll stick around for those. I'm really excited to be announcing it, and hopefully you're on board and as excited, or almost excited. Probably not as excited as me, because I'm pretty excited about it, but hopefully it ramps you up and you'll be on board with it as well. So jumping in first, get some stuff out of the way. If you've never heard of Tagboard, it is this really cool, I don't know, website. I don't think they have any apps or anything, but it's a website where it gathers from all the different social medias. It gathers from Vine, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Plus. I don't know if there's any way from YouTube to work, but it gathers videos, it gathers GIFs, it gathers pictures, tweets even without pictures, anything that has the certain hashtag, and puts it all in one place. And so I have created the UNC Live hashtag. So it's hashtag UNCLIVE. And again, I'll throw these up here on the showcase app here up to the right, if I can find them. But one of them is a link right to the UNC Live page on Tagboard already. There's a few other people that have jumped in, but most of them you'll see are from me and just kind of trying to get stuff up there. But I would love for you to join in and throw, especially once football season starts, basketball season gets going. Getting those pictures of the tailgates or at the game, inside the stadium, inside the arena, inside the Dean Smith Center, wherever it is, and even at home of your setup. I've thrown some of my swag or whatever you want to call it up there, and your collection of North Carolina stuff. Take a picture of it, put it up on any social media, use the hashtag UNC Live, and it'll get up there. And that's the cool thing. If we can get a lot of people going on this, that'll be a great page that we can go and kind of see all pictures of all different UNC game day pictures and all that stuff. So one of the things, hopefully it's showing again over on the showcase app to the right, but one of them is a link to the blog where I kind of wrote and explained it, and there'll be a link in there as well. But also, then the other one is a link right to the tag board. Again, it's hashtag UNC Live. So hashtag UNCLIVE. Should be simple enough. Just you got to get people in the habit of remembering to add that hashtag to all their pictures and all their UNC tweets and Facebook statuses and Instagram pictures and vines and all that stuff. Anything to do with UNC, we got to get that hashtag on it and get it rolling. So please spread the word. I would appreciate it. I know that. So the next thing I wanted to jump into was just kind of let you be aware, if you're not, that we pretty much know the schedule for the non-conference basketball season, and hopefully you know, and again we'll talk about it here in a minute, but the Bahamas trip that just happened, we'll talk about that, but hopefully, again, this is working. Over in the Showcase app, I have a link right to the schedule on InsideCarolina.com, and they have Bahamas trips that just happened, the scores and stats and stuff up there. And then the non-conference schedule, some of them have time, some of them we don't know yet, but they have pretty much all of our non-conference schedule up there. And then at the bottom they have who we play at home or away within the conference, and who we play both home and away and stuff. So we don't know dates and everything for the conference yet, but our non-conference schedule is up there. Again, click that link off to the right in the Showcase app, and you'll be able to go right to that on Inside Carolina. And just to point out the second Bahamas trip that will come kind of over Thanksgiving weekend. We know that we start with Butler at noon Eastern on ESPN2, I believe it says, and then we play the winner of, well, I'm suspecting that we win, but we will play either UCLA or Oklahoma. Obviously, hope it's the winner, which means that we won. And I did, post that you should ask questions ahead of time, and we did get this comment from John B. on Google Plus saying, "I hope we play the University of Carolina's leftover athletics in the Battle for Atlantis," which is the tournament that we're going to the Bahamas for later in November. And obviously, if you haven't heard that before, UCLA, University of Carolina leftover athletics. So thanks, John, for the comment, and I would agree. I would love to play UCLA. I'm guessing they'll be a little bit stronger without getting too in-depth in Oklahoma this year, but I don't expect a whole lot of UCLA either. They lost quite a bit, so not a marquee game. But then in that schedule, it also says who we would play, or the possibilities of who we play after or in the third round of Battle for Atlantis, and there are some potential, or there is some potential for some good matchups there. I know Georgetown is in there. And I don't want to say too many teams because I'll be wrong. I don't have it in front of me right now. Uh, but yeah, just like to throw that up there. And again, if you have any questions, Twitter, use the hashtag UNCHoopsTalk. You can ask them in the question and answer app on Google Plus. You can ask on the events page on Google Plus. On YouTube comments, I'll find them anywhere. So uh, definitely throw those up there. Comments, anything like that. So yeah, the Bahamas trip. Let's talk about this a little bit. We played a couple of not what should have been very not competitive teams, and we lost the first one by a point, and then we smoked the second team. Let's see, it was the Providence Storm that we lost to 84-83, and then I don't even know what the score was. We played the Bahamas All Stars in the second game, and beat them by like 52 or something. My take on it, obviously, and hopefully it's everybody's, is you can't take that much from it. And I was asked, like if you watched any of Kentucky's games, they played 6 games in 8 days. They played professional teams, a lot more competitive, or at least what should have been more competitive than what we saw. And asking why didn't Roy schedule harder teams? Why did they only play 2 games? And really my take, or the only thing I can really come up with, is because we were going to Bahamas for the Battle for Atlantis in November, that maybe he wanted this trip to be, well, they said on Inside Carolina, I watched a couple of videos, they said, this is more about getting team chemistry and not worrying about that, and also, throwing the freshmen out there, and the freshmen did play a lot and looked pretty good. We can talk about that when we talk about the games, but this is all about team chemistry, and kind of along those lines, my thought is maybe Roy wanted this to be kind of the fun trip to Bahamas, so that when they go in November, it's all business. They don't have to go to the water slide. They don't have to spend as much time in the water or doing this or doing that, because they've been there, they've seen it, and now we're here to win basketball games. And I would be okay with that. I do think it's not a waste, but a little underused of a trip to the Bahamas in preseason. I don't think we even used all of the 10 practices that were allotted to us leading up to this trip. And then, if we could have potentially played 6 games like Kentucky, I would have loved not only to see that, but to get that experience to the freshmen. And yeah, not even playing 6 games. If we could have played 4 games or something in 8 days, play every other day, or whatever. But Marcus Page was quoted as saying, it's hard to go from the beach and swimming to playing a game, and you can see that. And I mean, these guys should be used to it. And even that being the case, there's no way we should have lost those Providence All Stars. Really, the guy that lit us up. Well, I've heard a couple different things. One of the guys that lit us up was from like IUPW or some very small college that graduated a couple of years ago. And then the other thing I've heard is there was the #1 prospect in the class of 2017, which would make him a sophomore this year, lit us up for like 18 points and 17 rebounds. And with our big guys and stuff, there's no way a sophomore in high school should be getting 17 rebounds on it. So if that's the case, that's, again, it's scary that happens. If they weren't even on the top of their game, that shouldn't happen. And that brings up another point of, maybe the reason we played this team, at least that team, the Providence Storm, is Roy wanted to see this guy in action, and he'll get on our recruiting list and maybe offering list and that stuff. And Roy will offer him soon, or Roy wanted to see him in action up close and that kind of stuff. So who knows? Really, only Roy knows the answer to that. But we can't look too much into stats. We can't look too much into, all that stuff from this Bahama trip. Hopefully the guys did have a good time, and they really did bond, and the chemistry will be there now. The last 2 times we've been to the Bahamas or been on this, kind of trip, because you're only allotted this like the out of country trip every 4 years. But 2 times ago it was Hansborough's freshman year and Frazier's, and it, we know they had a successful season their freshman year, and maybe it was that bond in the Bahamas that did that. And the other time was Kendall Marshall, Harrison Barnes, they're kind of freshman year, John Henson sophomore year, which was coming off a tough year, so maybe that helped them as well. Who knows? But all we can hope for is that this one did. As far as specifics about the games, without trying to take too much, and hopefully this is up by now, but off to the right again, the Showcase app, there should be a link to a YouTube page. It's the 10th year seniors YouTube page, and these guys that have recently started this sports website. I don't think it's all sports, but a lot of it's sports, and their YouTube page is pretty much all basketball there, but they're from the Bahamas, and they were at the games. And so if you want to go see, they're both, I linked to the fourth quarter of the game we lost, but if you go to their YouTube page, you can see all the different quarters of both games. And just, while we're talking about it, the second game where we killed the Bahama All-Stars, they started the game with only 5, and actually there was only 4 there. One guy ran in, and so they could start the game and whatever. And their tallest player was like 6'4", 6'3", something like that. So yes, of course we should beat a team with 5 players and just not tall at all. But as you watch, there's 2 guys on the bench, so they did. A couple of guys came later. Again, not an organized team and all that stuff. So a team we should have beat, but even the team we lost to, you can see, if we were on the top of our game, Page didn't look great. We should have beat them. But again, I don't want to go too much into that. Isaiah Hicks did look impressive in both of them. He just looks more comfortable, and you can just, it's so obvious that he was out of it at the 3 last year compared to how comfortable he looks now at the 4, getting offensive rebounds, posting up, running the floor, all kinds of stuff. So that looked great. The freshman, Justin Jackson, looks so smooth. He's going to be a scorer. I hope his defense is good enough. I hope he doesn't have that same problem that Bryce did, because he did play a lot of zone in high school. So I hope he doesn't have that same problem as Bryce. But he's a 6'7", 6'8" guy out on the wing, can shoot. So I love Justin Jackson's game. Theo Pinson, you can just tell he's an athlete. If any of them start, I'm going to guess it's probably him, and mostly for his defense. But just an athletic slasher. He can hit an outside shot. If he knocks down a couple, people have to respect him, and he can get to the hole, and just aggressive as a freshman. So, love to see that. Joel Berry. It's Joel James, Joel Berry. But I think he can be a very good point guard. I'm guessing he won't come into his own really until probably Marcus Page is gone, and he can kind of take hold of the team and really run the team. But to see him and Page, at the end of games, next to each other, 2 really good ball handlers, I have a lot of confidence in that. His shot, he made a couple of threes, he hit some jumpers, but to me it looks like his shot, his release is a little bit low, and there's kind of like a hitch in his shot or something. I don't know. I do know the UNC staff will know better than me, will be able to correct it better than me if anything needs to be corrected. That's why it's awesome to have Hubert Davis on the bench there. But his shot just looked like it had a little bit of a hitch in it for me. So again, hopefully he just continues to work at it, and he'll definitely be. I don't know. For me, I think he should get more playing time than Nate Britt. Besides, unless Britt comes out and because changing to a right-handed shot, he's better offensively. Really, I think Joel Berry will be more stable point guard. Will push the tempo better once he gets into the system and all that stuff. He'll be better offensively, and he's stronger, I think, even than Britt already. So defensively, he can hold up better. So it'll be interesting playing time. We have 4 point guards. We have Marcus Page, 5, I guess. Marcus Page, Joel Berry, Nate Britt, and then we have Luke Davis and Stillman White sitting in for point guard. So that is really crazy, but we know that Page will probably play the 2 at points this season. I think Joel Berry can even play the 2 if he really works at his shot. So I think we have a very versatile lineup, roster. Kennedy Meeks, everybody's talking about his weight going down. He does need to, he still has to use his body, and that's where it helped him being bigger last year. He could use that body, but now that he's slimmed down, he's got to use it more wisely, more efficiently. And he's still got to work on his lift, but it's good to see him working so hard. Again, this is preseason stuff. We don't want to read too much into it, but that's my 2 cents on all of that stuff. I probably rambled on longer than you care to see or hear. So let's just keep moving on as we're still amping up for the season. Next, I just wanted to make sure you knew I'm not the biggest follower of football when it comes to the Tar Heels. I do watch them, if I can, and if it's on TV and stuff. I like their style, the up-tempo style that Fedora has, but I definitely don't follow it maybe a quarter as much as I do basketball, or however you want to measure that. But if you didn't know, it's coming soon. Do support. I try to support the Tar Heels in any sport. If it's on TV, if I'm available, all that good stuff. But definitely support the football team. Ranked 23rd in the AP preseason. And again, use the hashtag UNCLive to get it up on that tag board of, if you're tailgating, if you're at the game, or if you're watching the game somewhere, take a picture, put it up on Twitter, Facebook, Vine, Instagram, Google+, wherever you're active, put it up, use the hashtag UNCLive, and it goes up on that tag board, and really get that thing going, and that'll be a pretty sweet thing. But again, this isn't a football podcast, although I think that's a possibility. If somebody is a diehard football fan, they definitely should, and you could go right from football to basketball. If I followed them more, I definitely would include it. Lots of football fans out there, but it's not me. It's not for me, and I don't want to fake it. So then the last thing before the announcements that I promised is I just wanted to kind of give a heads up of what I'm looking at doing for the next couple of podcasts before the season starts. So it's September for the September podcast. I don't know exactly what day or time it's going to be yet. I do like this time, Thursday. Well, Thursdays are good for me in general anyway. But I'm tried to hopefully hit people over their lunch period or anything if they're interested to watch, because before I'd done it kind of in the middle of the afternoon and people aren't available to watch live. I'd love to get the live questions going, and again, to throw it out, anybody watching live, use the hashtag UNCHoopsTalk on Twitter, or ask questions on YouTube, on Google+, anywhere. I will find them. I'll answer them, make comments, anything like that. But so I need to find the right time, and so I tried this to see if over lunch people could do it. And again, you can leave your comments. What do you think the best time would be for a live podcast to get people interacting, asking questions, all that stuff? But anyway, in September, whatever Thursday I do that, I'm going to kind of try to take it and focus mostly on expectations for players. Leave it more individual. This is what I expect out of Kennedy Meeks. This is what I expect after such a stellar season from Marcus Page. This is how he's going to respond. This is what I expect from the freshmen. So I'm going to go through, probably not our whole roster, but the top 10 guys or whatever I think the biggest rotation we could have would be, and go through those expectations. And then in October, kind of go through the schedule, because by then even the conference schedule will be out, and kind of predict any losses, not that we would ever lose, right? But any losses that we would have, kind of predict the schedule for the Tar Heels that upcoming season. Maybe predict the conference where I think we'll finish, that kind of stuff. But so expectations for individual players in September, predictions of the team and team record in October, and then by November we'll be going almost weekly. Remember, if you are not a faithful watcher of this podcast, you should know that in the off season I do one a month, and then when we get into the season we start going once a week. And again, it'll probably be every Thursday. Just have to find the right time. So by November we'll be going into games, and we'll be going every week. So obviously that will change, and it'll go with the games that we're playing. But I did want to end the show with kind of a few announcements, and then hopefully your help. And then we'll kind of check. I haven't seen any questions come up. guess I can quick check to see if we got any questions. And yeah, you guys gotta step it up. I don't see any questions yet. So again, the way I wanted to end it was kind of asking for your support, but also kind of letting you know where I want this show to go, and all that good stuff. And I'm trying to find my link here. There we go. But first, I want to say kind of my vision for this show, to help it grow. It's not huge now by any means. I don't know that it'll ever get huge, and this is just a hobby for me, so it's okay. I just love talking about the Tar Heels, and hopefully getting other people to talk about it as well. So it's not like I'm going to quit probably ever just because it's not big. If I ever quit, it would be because I just got too busy or something. Hopefully that's never the case. You're never too busy for your Tar Heels. Excuse me. This is our sponsor break, brought to you by Sonic today. No, but really my vision for this podcast, and to help get it to more people, make it more accessible to people, make it easier to listen. I know I don't have a video face, so my vision is to go the audio way. I'm hoping by the time the season starts, either in October or sometime in November, that I will have this podcast in audio version up on iTunes. And again, let me know if you would watch that way, if that would be better for you. But that is kind of my goal, to be up in iTunes with this podcast by the time the season starts for sure. Again, sometime October, November. Along with that, just to kind of enhance the production and the success and all that of this podcast, I would love to get an actual website. Right now it's on Blogspot. It's done what it needs, what I've needed it to. It's been fine, but people don't look at Blogspot the same way they do as as .coms, as websites. So I would love to get an actual website going as well. Now, the reason I've done the podcast this way, well, one reason is, I'll let you in on the secrets here if you're still hanging with us, but one of the reasons is because nobody else is doing a video podcast on the Tar Heels on YouTube or anywhere else, really, at least that I could find. So it sets it apart that way, but also it's free. I use Google Hangouts, and it uploads to YouTube right away, and then I put it on SoundCloud and things like that, but everything's free. To get it into iTunes, to have a website, you have to host it, and people charge for that. Not a ton, but and not that I am trying to make money off of it or anything like that, but to kind of support the move onto iTunes, to get a website. I've also set up a Patreon page, and I've highlighted or put it up on the Showcase app, so hopefully that's working. But otherwise, it's Patreon, patreon.com/UNCHoopsTalk, or if you go to that page, you can search UNCHoopsTalk and you'll find it. But Patreon is kind of like Kickstarter, where you raise money. Where Kickstarter, you raise money for one product. This is kind of ongoing. It's month to month. So if you are willing, if you are able, if you would like to, and to help get onto iTunes, help to get this to a website, and host it and all that good stuff, so we get more professional and grow the show and make it a better production, because as we get support, I will get better as I practice, but also if it gets supported beyond just what those hosting needs are, I'll put the money back in and make these productions even better. So you can go to patreon.com/UNCHoopsTalk. If the Showcase app is working over there, you can click on that and it'll bring you right to it. But really what it is just asking for any amount of support that you can give month to month. It can be as little as $1 a month, and it can be as much as you want, of course. And there are kind of different levels of rewards there, and it'll explain itself. But the rewards, that if you give more than more than $1 a month, there's there's a $5, there's a $10. I don't forget all the increments that I put in there. There are kind of rewards for it, those rewards can be changed. If you think, if you have an idea for a better reward for a different amount or whatever, I am definitely open to that. But I just wanted to get it up and going and kind of see what's out there. And then also, as we get more patrons and more support, like I said, all the money that I get, I'm not trying to make a living out of this. I'm not trying to do any of that. But the money's going to go back in to make a better production. My computer here is on its, I wouldn't say last legs, but on its getting there. Get better audio. I'd like to get an actual mic here, be able to take off these big headphones, all that stuff. Again, I don't want to bore you with all the details and stuff. It's there on patreon.com/UNCHoopsTalk. But again, would love for you to support, would love for you to spread. If you can't give the money, sharing these videos, letting people know about it, share, subscribe to YouTube, and then the also thing with iTunes. I know I'm kind of jumping around here as I end, but with the iTunes, once we get up on iTunes, it helps a lot to get people to review it on iTunes, that more people find it, because it's kind of how their search works. It's the more popular it is, the more it's going to come up when people search different search terms or whatever you want to call it. So I need people that will review it in iTunes to help it out there. So if you can't help, with actual money, that's another way you can help. Share these videos. Share, just tell people about the website or about the podcast. And also, then when we get into iTunes, leaving those reviews. But again, if you can support in any way, as much as or as little as $1 a month, and it just comes, I don't even know, I think if you have to use credit card, maybe you can put bank stuff in there, but it just comes out. I mean, think about that. $1 a month is like nothing, especially once we get into the season. We'll be doing these every week, so you're getting 4 podcasts for $1, or if you can give $5, it's almost $1 a podcast during the season, and it'll help out greatly. But anyway, feedback about that is greatly appreciated. Bring it on. Let's raise the value, the production, everything of UNC Hoops Talk podcast. But again, I've rambled on probably more than necessary, more than you want to hear. So I will see you in September with my expectations for individual players this upcoming season. I'm going to check one last time for any questions that may be out there, or comments that people maybe have left, and just make sure that I haven't missed anything, because I would love to answer any questions that you have, or add in any topics, anything like that you have. But I don't see any, so that means until next time, go Heels.